Let me ask you something and be honest with yourself. When was the last time you sat down at the end of the day, truly sat down and felt like you actually moved somewhere, not just survived the day, not just checked off a list, but genuinely felt like your life shifted forward, like you are closer to the person you are supposed to become? Because I know a lot of you watching this are exhausted. You wake up and before your feet even touch the floor, your phone is already pulling you in 10 directions. You have emails, you have messages, you have things due, you have things people need from you. You have things you told yourself you were going to do yesterday that you did not do. And by the time night comes, you collapse into bed, bone-tired, and somewhere deep inside you, a voice whispers, "What did I actually accomplish today?" And the answer scares you, because the truth is you did a lot, but none of it moved you forward. You were busy, you were incredibly busy, but you went absolutely nowhere. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about today, because this is not a time management problem. This is not a productivity hack situation. This is something much deeper, and until you understand what it actually is, no app, no system, no 5 a.m. routine is going to fix it. Section 1, the illusion of busyness here is the first thing you need to understand. Busyness is not the same thing as progress, and most people have never stopped to realize that. We live in a culture that has completely confused activity with achievement. If you are moving, if you are doing things, if your calendar is full, society tells you that you are productive, that you are serious, that you are someone who has their life together. But think about it for a second. A hamster on a wheel is one of the busiest creatures on the planet. It is running constantly. It is putting in work. It is showing up every single day. And it goes absolutely nowhere. That is what most of us are doing. We are on the hamster wheel, and we have been on it so long that we have forgotten there is even a wheel. We think running is the goal. The reason this happens is because busyness feels productive. It gives you a dopamine hit. Every time you respond to an email, every time you cross something off your to-do list, every time you finish a task, your brain rewards you. It says, "Good job, you did something," and that feeling is addictive. But here is what nobody tells you. Your brain does not distinguish between tasks that matter and tasks that do not. Scrolling through your inbox for 30 minutes gives you almost the same neurological reward as spending 30 minutes working on the thing that could actually change your life. The feeling is almost identical. So your brain, left to its own devices, will always push you toward the easier, smaller tasks because they are quicker, they deliver the reward faster, and they carry zero risk. And this is where the trap begins. You build an entire identity around being busy. You start to enjoy it, not in a fulfilling way, in an addictive way. The same way someone enjoys a cigarette. It is not good for you, but it fills a void, and the void it fills is this. It makes you feel like you are in control. It makes you feel like you matter. It makes you feel like you are doing enough, but you are not, and deep down you know that. Section 2. The real reason why you avoid what actually matters. So if busyness is not the answer, then why do we keep doing it? Why do we keep filling our days with everything except the things that would actually move us forward? The answer is uncomfortable, and it has almost nothing to do with discipline or willpower. It is fear, not the kind of fear where something jumps out at you. It is a quieter fear, a fear that most people never even name. It is the fear of trying something that actually matters to you and failing at it. Or worse, the fear of trying and discovering that you are not good enough. Think about it. The tasks that keep you busy, answering messages, running errands, cleaning your house, scrolling your phone, none of these carry real stakes. If you mess up an email, the world does not end. If you forget to buy groceries, you just go back to the store. These things are low risk. They are safe. But the things that would actually move your life forward, starting that business, writing that book, having that conversation, making that investment, committing to that course or that training, pursuing that dream you have been carrying around in your chest for years, those things are terrifying. Because if you try and you fail, it does not just feel like a bad day. It feels like a personal verdict on who you are. It feels like proof that you are not capable, that you do not have what it takes. And that is a pain that no amount of productivity hacks can protect you from. So what do? Unconsciously, without even realizing it, you fill your time with everything else. You create busyness as a shield. Because as long as you are too busy to work on the thing that matters, you never have to face the possibility that you might fail at it. And you never have to face the possibility that you might actually succeed, which, by the way, is just as scary for a lot of people. Because success means responsibility, it means expectations, and it means you can no longer blame your circumstances for where you are. This is not laziness. Let me be very clear about that. Lazy people do nothing. You are doing everything. You are just doing everything except the thing that counts. There is a term psychologists use for this. It is called task substitution. You replace high-value, high-risk activities with low-value, low-risk activities that still make you feel productive. and it works so well as a coping mechanism that most people never even notice they are doing it. And here is the dangerous part. The longer you do this, the more comfortable you become with it. The busyness becomes your normal, and after months or years of this pattern, you genuinely start to believe that this is just how life is. That everyone feels this way, that there is no other option, that maybe you are just not the kind of person who gets results. But that is not true, and I am going to show you exactly why. Section 3. The myth of I do not have time. Before we get into solutions, we need to kill one more myth, and this one is a big one. I do not have time. You have heard yourself say this, probably today, maybe multiple times today. I do not have time to exercise. I do not have time to learn something new. I do not have time to work on my goals. I do not have time to invest in myself. And here is the brutal truth that nobody wants to hear. You do have time. You have more time than you think. You just do not have the priority. The average person spends somewhere between 2 and 4 hours a day on their phone scrolling, watching, browsing, and that is not even counting the time spent in meetings that could have been emails, or in conversations that go nowhere, or waiting in lines, or sitting in traffic without a plan for how to use that time. Time is not the problem. It has never been the problem. The problem is that the things you say you want, the goals, the dreams, the version of yourself you want to become, they do not feel urgent enough to compete with everything else demanding your attention. Think about it this way. If your house was on fire, you would not sit down and scroll your phone. You would move, instantly, without hesitation, without needing motivation or a 5 a.m. wake-up call. You would act because the stakes were high enough. But your dreams, your long-term goals, they do not feel like a fire. They feel like a slow leak. You know something is dripping somewhere. You can hear it sometimes. But it does not feel urgent enough to fix right now. So you keep saying, I will get to it. And tomorrow comes, and the leak gets a little worse, and you still do not fix it. This is the core of the problem. Busyness wins because it feels urgent. Your inbox feels urgent. Your messages feel urgent. Other people's needs feel urgent. But your own growth, your own goals, they almost never feel urgent until suddenly they do, and by then, years have passed. So the first real shift you need to make is not about time. It is about what you treat as non-negotiable, and we are going to talk about exactly how to do that. Section 4, the system that actually works all right. So now you understand the problem. Busyness is not progress. Fear is driving your behavior, and time is not actually the issue. Priority is. So what do you actually do about it? I want to give you a framework, not a hack. Not a trick, a framework that fundamentally changes how you approach your days. I call it the one thing first system, and it is deceptively simple. Here is how it works. Step 1, identify your one thing. Every single day, before you do anything else, before you check your phone, before you open your email, before you respond to anyone, you identify the single most important action you could take today that moves you closer to where you want to be in life. Not where you want to be next week, not what other people need from you, where you want to be 1 year from now, 5 years from now. This is not a to-do list item. This is not something someone else put on your calendar. This is the thing that, if you did it consistently, would genuinely transform your life. For some people, it is writing. For others, it is building something. For others, it is learning a skill. For others, it is having a difficult but necessary conversation. For others, it is spending focused time on a project that no one else sees yet, but that will matter enormously in the future. Whatever it is for you, you name it, every single morning. You name it. Step 2, do it first. This is the non-negotiable part, before anything else, before the emails, before the news, before the social media, before the messages. You do your one thing first. Now, I am not saying you need to spend 8 hours on it at 5 in the morning. I am saying you protect a window of time, even if it is just 60 to 90 minutes at the very start of your day, and you dedicate it entirely to this one thing. No interruptions, no multitasking. No, I will just check one thing real quick. Nothing. This is where most people get stuck, by the way. They say, but I have responsibilities. I have to respond to people. I have a job. I have a family, and I understand that. But here is what I want you to consider. The people and responsibilities you are protecting, they need the best version of you. And the best version of you does not show up when you have already spent your first 2 hours reacting to other people's priorities. The best version of you shows up when you have already started moving in the direction that matters most. Step 3, build the container. Here is where it gets practical. You need to make this time physically, mentally, and environmentally protected. That means your phone is in another room or on airplane mode. That means you have told the people in your life that this time is sacred. That means you have a specific place where you do this work, a desk, a chair, a room, wherever, and when you sit in that place, your brain knows what is happening. This is not willpower. This is design. You are designing your environment to make the right choice the easy choice, because willpower is a limited resource. It runs out, but a well-designed environment, That works every single day without you having to fight yourself. Step 4. Protect it like your life depends on it, because in a very real sense it does. Every day you skip your one thing, you are choosing to stay exactly where you are. Every day you let the busyness win, you are choosing the version of your life where nothing changes. And after enough of those days, you wake up one morning, maybe it is in a year, maybe it is in 5 years, and you realize that the life you wanted is no longer a possibility you are building toward. It is a possibility you let go of, and that realization is far more painful than any amount of discipline could ever be. Section 5. Why most people still will not do this and how to anyway. Now, I want to be real with you for a second. Because I know what is happening in your head right now. You are nodding along. You are thinking, yes, this makes sense. I need to prioritize. I need to protect my time. I need to do the important thing first. And then tomorrow morning, you are going to wake up and your phone is going to buzz and someone is going to need something and a little voice in your head is going to say, I will start tomorrow. Today is not a good day. The timing is not right. And you will listen to that voice and you will lose another day. So let me address that directly, because the gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it is where most people's dreams go to die. And it is not because they are weak or lazy. It is because change is genuinely uncomfortable, especially at first. When you start doing your one thing, when you actually sit down and work on the thing that matters, it is going to feel awkward. It is going to feel slow. You are going to produce work that is not good, and your brain is going to tell you that this proves you are not capable. You are going to want to quit within the first week. This is normal. This is not a sign that you are doing it wrong. This is a sign that you are doing it right, because the discomfort you are feeling is the feeling of your old patterns being challenged. It is your brain resisting change. And it will pass, but only if you push through it. Here is what I want you to do to make it stick. First, start absurdly small. You do not need to wake up at 4:30 in the morning and grind for 3 hours. Start with 20 minutes. 20 minutes of focused, undistracted work on your one thing. That is it. If 20 minutes feels too hard, start with 10. The point is not the duration. The point is the habit. You are training your brain to show up for yourself. And once that becomes automatic, once it is as natural as brushing your teeth, you can expand it. Second, track it. Not in a complicated way, just a simple streak. A calendar where you mark an X on every day you did your one thing, and then you look at that streak and you protect it, because humans are wired to protect patterns once they see them. A streak of 21 days is something you will not want to break, and that motivation, that desire to keep the streak alive, is far more powerful than any external accountability. Third, accept imperfection. You are going to miss days. Life is unpredictable. Something will come up. And when it does, the worst thing you can do is let one missed day turn into 2, then 3, then a week, then a month. The rule is simple. If you miss a day, you never miss 2 in a row. 1 day off is a break. 2 days off is the beginning of a new pattern, and you cannot afford a new pattern. Section 6, the bigger picture. What this is really about. I want to zoom out for a moment. Because this video is not really about productivity, and it is not really about time management. This is about the life you are building, or not building. Every single day you make a choice. You might not feel like it is a choice. It might feel automatic, like you have no control over how your day unfolds. But you do. In every moment, you are choosing what gets your attention. And whatever gets your attention gets your life. The people who seem to have it all figured out, the ones who have built businesses, who have written books, who have changed their lives in ways that seem almost impossible from the outside, they are not smarter than you. They are not more talented than you. They did not get some secret advantage that you missed out on. The only difference is that they decided at some point, maybe unconsciously, maybe deliberately, that their one thing was worth protecting. That it was worth the discomfort, that it was worth saying no to everything else. And they did it, not perfectly, not every single day, but consistently enough that, over time, it added up to something extraordinary. And here is what I want you to truly understand. You do not need to change your entire life overnight. You do not need a revolution. You need a single, consistent shift. One thing done first every day. That is it. Because small, consistent action compounds just like money in an investment account. A little bit of focused effort every day, over months and years, does not just add up, it multiplies. And 1 year from now, you will look back and barely recognize the person you were today, not because something dramatic happened, but because you finally stopped running in place and started moving in a direction. Recap. So here is where I leave you. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to write down one thing, just one. The single action that, if you did it tomorrow morning before anything else, would move you closer to the life you actually want. Not the life that is comfortable, not the life that looks good to other people, the life that is yours. Write it down. Put it somewhere you will see it first thing when you wake up. And tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, before you open any app, before you respond to a single message, you do that one thing. That is where it starts. Not next week, not when the timing is perfect, not when you feel ready. Tomorrow, first thing, because the version of you that you are meant to become is not waiting for you to be ready. It is waiting for you to choose it, and you have been busy long enough. It is time to actually move. If this video changed the way you think about your day, even a little bit, then do me a favor. Hit that like button. Share this with someone you know who needs to hear it. Someone who is stuck in that same cycle of busyness and going nowhere. And if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe now and turn on that notification bell, because I put out videos like this every single week that are specifically designed to help you stop spinning your wheels and start building the life you actually want. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.